So fixing the error message in the console here is really easy. We just have to resend the response back to the device so that we can tell the web server that everything's good. So we're going to do a request, arrow operator, send 200, x slash claim, okay. Semicolon. That should fix our stupid error message over here. So now let's get things happening on the page. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take and update the word button to tell me if the LED is on or off. So what we're going to do is we're going to take and update our web page to be a little more comprehensive. So instead of saying button here, we're going to say something like the LED is. And then we're going to add a variable. So we're going to give this piece a span ID so we can reference it. So the page up and page down keys are very inconveniently located on this keyboard. It's not my standard keyboard I'm working on. Span ID equals LED state. Really, this page up and page down are really annoying. So it's going to be called the LED state. And I'm going to close that part tag and then put what we're going to do, which is going to be percent LED state, no underscore, percent sign, and then we're going to close the span, which is /span. Close that tag. Now we need to update our processor to fix that. So let's go to that function we wrote way back in the beginning called processor. And we're going to say, hey, if var equal LED state return LED state. Actually, we're going to return. Let me check one thing in my other code because I believe I want to turn green LED state, but let me double check. Nope, we're going to make a variable up above, which we'll reference. So in here we will return green, LED state. So we need to go add a new variable to our thing, a string, LED state, that's the lowercase, and by default it's going to be off. Now, in the code, wherever it sees this ID, which is this guy right here, then it's going to get passed in the current state of the LED, which is going to be off or on. Now we have to actually handle changing that back and forth. So in our function, we're going to add another control. We're going to say LED state equals off. And we can simplify our code a little bit by copying this here and replacing this here. And then LED state equals on. And then replacing this guy with LED states. That way, at least we're not using, that way this will always follow what we actually are saying it is, not hoping they match. So now, let me double check my set reference code, because again, this is where I get, this is stuff I'm still learning. We need to, yep. Let me double check things, which I'm going to pause while I'm thinking. Apologize for this. I'm going to compile and see what happens where I missed a, oh, I forgot a semicolon. Let's recompile and I'll pause while I'm thinking. And I missed another semicolon. Let's try again. And I'll pause while it's working. Device is resetting. I'm going to clear my console again. And I'm going to wait, we're connected. I'm going to reset. So LED is off. I figured out this error. I have a typo in my code, so I am going to fix that right now. I'm going to go to initial scale, top of the HTML, and then I, and I'm going to press the button. Light turns on. And we are not getting the proper data back to this. So we do need to fix this piece. That's what I thought. I misunderstood part of the code, and this is why it's really good to rewrite this whole thing from scratch and just giving you my code as it was. So let's go fix that problem. And I believe the problem is that we actually have to handle it in the JavaScript because we can't easily communicate back to our code. So in the JavaScript right here, we are going to take and let me go look at my reference code, make sure I get this right. We're going to go grab this, the LED state. So we're going to say document get element by ID color. Oh, sorry, copying too much. Get element ID. Oh. And that's going to be this ID right here. So LED state, comma, nope, close parentheses, dot inner HTML equals, and we're going to have to actually change this based on what's happening. So we're going to say if. So let's grab this. Instead, we're going to say state, var state equals this. Then we're going to say if state equal off Control C equals on. Else Control V equals off. So if it was off, Now it should be on, otherwise it should now be off. And then let's also on, and we'll put console.log in the other part to say that's off. That way we can see that even if we screw something else up, we'll know that it got fired off because we see it in the console over here. So technically, I believe we don't even need that variable I created. I apologize for that. So we're gonna get rid of this, and then we're gonna go down to our code, and we're gonna undo the changes we made before because we don't need those anymore. Get rid of this guy, and let's upload the code again. I'll pause while this happens. Hold on 1 second, guys. I think I made them. I think that means our processor doesn't actually need to do anything. I'm gonna remove this code right now, but don't wait till see if mine compiles before doing anything. Again, I'm still learning this, so I apologize for any confusion. So we're gonna take that. I copied that out, so there. I'm gonna compile, and I'll come back if I need to edit or adjust over this done. All right, I'm gonna clear my console output here. Once I'm reconnected, I'll reload this page. Should not take more than a moment. Still looking. All right, refresh. Good, we got that. Got rid of the other error. I'm gonna hit press me. LED is off. Okay. So we don't need the processing. Apparently, that was code that was left over from previous me learning how to do stuff. That's fine. That makes life easier. I still think we need a function because it is getting called. We're just not going to do anything with it. I do need to fix one more thing, which is I need to go and so when we start off, so I'm going to reload this page. So when we started, we are backwards from here. So press me. The LED is backwards from here. So we just need to change. And we're off somehow by a cycle. So the value of our thing should have been so on off. Aha. I think the problem is when we get going initially, so we don't need this anymore. I believe we just need to do off. Let's reload the code. Again, I'll pause while it loads. So reconnecting right now. I'm going to clear my console. This will clear once I refresh, which will be done now. LED is off. I hit press me. The LED is on. LED is on. LED is on. I press the button again. Button is pressed. LED is off. LED is off. Yay! Everything works. So we're kind of cheating because the web page doesn't actually know the state of the LED. That's why it was offset by 1 before. It's just responding to this. We just have our code mirror both of them. There's probably a better way to do it. Unfortunately, I'm not experienced enough to give you a better way, but this works. Excellent. Now it'd be really nice to have something a little bit more fancy to work with. So our next video is that we are going to handle adding a external LED to our circuit board so that we can turn on and fade that LED based on presses. This is going to be a lot closer to what we're going to be working with when everything's done with. Now I'm going to use a single color LED for this. Actually, I'll probably set up an RGB LED. So I'll come back on next video. We'll have a breadboard. Thankfully, this is done with Arduino 7 point whatever. If you guys like this broken up more, let me know. I plan on doing longer. It's just this sequence between problems with serial connections and staff meetings. I forgot to actually, I couldn't do it all in one setting. So let's stop this video here.